Yo, for those coming into this wondering why I'm laughing, just know on the Otaku Summit podcast, the behind the scenes are hilarious. There's only one group of individuals like this. You will not find them anywhere else. There's only one Otaku Summit.
Bruh.
But oh man, welcome everybody, to another episode of the Otaku Summit podcast. This is episode 52. We coming back to you 3 episodes in a row. Look at us being consistent.
Yeah.
Yes, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Yes. I am Javon, aka Kuma, here with Omar, aka OVO Bruce, who won't change his name for some apparent reason.
The name is staying for the rest of the year.
That's crazy. That's super crazy. Not with us today, but also a part of us in spirit is Viquelli, and April, who both cannot be with us today. Like you guys know, April is on sabbatical, and Viquelli has to be a aunt and babysit. So they are not, but they shall be back. Well, Vicky should be back very soon. That's it. April, we don't know yet, but we were April. See, I gotta ask April what plushie she wants to be. We gotta have April somewhere plopped up. We gotta rotate it so it's like she's just moving around the podcast. We gotta send it to somebody else and let it just be a background ornament in the back. But yes. Welcome once again to the Otaku Summit. Yes. Ma, I got beef with you. I got beef with you with this part. We can get to that later. We won't start on beef. But I want you to be very apparent on this episode that I have beef with you. And you no, don't worry. We won't start the
podcast. I'll make sure I have
but
the wire pull up.
But not too. Listen, you can pull up whatever you want to pull up. I got beef with you.
Yeah,
but
okay, that's fine.
I think we got a good amount of things to discuss today. Beef aside, where do you want to begin, Omar? Where do you think we should begin? I think
let's do the top 5 arcs.
Top
I
5.
was actually thinking about
that's where you want to go at. All right, cool. All right. So,
because I want a clarification on something.
All right.
We're talking shonen arcs or arcs in general.
All right, we are talking. Okay, just to give a little background, behind the scenes, we were discussing. It's like, okay, let's talk about our top 5 anime-based arcs. And this comes off the heels of the conversation that was being had about solo leveling over the past few weeks and the Juju Island arc that just happened. Great season, great episode, great end to the season as well. But a lot of people got to comparing it to the Chimera Ant arc. So that got me to thinking, it's like, oh, it's so crazy that an arc or an episode could bring about so much discourse and so much hype and so much fanfare that you can say was kind of based upon something that already happened that is also considered one of the best arcs ever. So like I'm thinking, what are some of our favorite arcs? So we feel like it's some of our favorite arcs within the anime genre. Now, with that being said, you cannot, because I want to make this interesting, you cannot say Chimera Ant,
okay,
Marine Ford.
Marine
Ford. Sorry, I said Marine. Why is Marine man? Yeah, Marine Ford. I don't know. Marine Ford.
Shooting exams. Or Sasuke retrieval. So it has to be something from that.
So you feel we should take up the main? Because I was gonna say Chimera Ant, Marine Ford, Dark Tournament. Basically, much the ones like are always really, really talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess we could say Sasuke retrieval arc. I guess we can add that in there.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything? just so to make this like interesting because a lot of people know about those arcs in
Soul
particular.
Society.
I mean, yeah, but I don't feel like people always talk about the Soul Society arc there.
I
Or
think
you feel like
Soul
that would be
Society is the only perfect arc in Bleach from start to finish.
fair, fair. You feel like, and that's probably two of it. All right, cool. That's our Soul Society now. That's our Soul Society. So we have that five out of the way.
Okay.
What would be your top five anime based arcs? What do you feel?
You want to go bond for bond, or you want me to say all at once?
Ooh. Bond for bond. Let's go.
All
Let's
right.
go. Let's go. Bond for bond.
Okay. So to
That.
start this off, I am going to go with
No repeats.
yeah. Okay. I got you.
All right. Cool. Cool.
I
Cool.
think
Cool.
my
Okay
personal
then.
favorite
Uh huh.
arc from this series that I'm going to name is My Villain Academia from Boku no Hero.
Oh, you no, you lied, you lied, you lied. All right,
Like
all right, all right,
that was
all right,
something that
all right,
Horikoshi
all right.
just spurned on us
Okay.
unexpectedly. Like we never expected to get an entire arc just focused on the villains.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas our main cast of villains all got intense and deeply personal character development within this arc to the point whereas they also got power up, much needed power ups that they needed to bridge that gap between them and the
Right,
heroes.
right, right, right.
But like the level of writing and the backstory that they went into for the twice Toga and Shigaraki
Mm-hmm.
was next level. Next
Yeah.
level.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
It was.
masterful writing. This shit was dark.
Mhm.
Like, oh man.
Very controversial at the time as well.
Yeah.
Very controversial at the time as well. Um, for pretty much everything that you just said, and it
Yep.
being an arc based on the villains. Like, rarely do I don't even know. I can't think of. I really. I don't.
Me
You can
neither.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of any other time where there was ever an arc dedicated primarily to the villains of that series.
I can't think of nothing either.
Yeah. So that
That
was
that
that
was a
that
game changer.
that had Warriors editors scrapping us like, bro, you sure you want to like what we doing? What we
Mhm.
doing? All right. Okay. That's a good start. That's a good
Yeah,
start.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah,
start.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
start. All right. All right. All right. I would have to say if you went with that, I will have to go with da 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 da
Also, I'm
the
not gonna say
uh-huh.
anything from Hunter x Hunter. I'll just
I mean,
let
I didn't
it
say you
go.
can't say anything from Hunter x Hunter. I just took off. I just took the Chimera Ant arc off the table.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. But the dumpster battle from Haikyuu.
Haikyuu.
Yes, and
You
it was
would say
recently
this.
just done anime. Yes, it was. And the reason for that being is because that arc, and if you know what I love Haikyuu, right? And if you are keeping up with Haikyuu, right? That arc was such an full circle moment for everything that's been built
Mhm.
up so far within the anime and for the characters presented in that particular battle. I mean, that particular match, right? We saw a
Mhm.
lot of, and because Nekuma was also one of the first teams Karasuno ever matched up against once they started building what this new Karasuno team would be to bring the school back to its former glory and prestige, right? And seeing
Mhm.
that how overwhelming Nekuma was to them, and then you seeing also Hinata building this bond with Kenma along the way to whereas Kenma is now learning to love the sport of volleyball and to give extra effort to that rivalry, building the rivalry because it's that the series established very early on that these two schools have a long-standing rivalry that expands years.
Mm-hmm.
So to finally see that happen, right, and to see the character growth because both these teams pushed each other to be better, to strive for more, to reach the better heights within the story, that was the perfect resolution to that entire thing. That point, and it's fitting that it comes so close to the end of the series because he really didn't stop. Everything after that, honestly, everything after that, in my
Mm-hmm.
personal opinion, is a bonus simply because of what follows. But that really was the big cherry on the top of the cake that was being built of the series of Haikyuu that really brought all the character development, all the moments, all the intensity. Because if you only watched the movie, you'd understand that was a long match. Let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
reading that was a long, grueling, and this is the way the way he wrote and established the match, it was a real grueling back and forth slugfest dogfight. You really didn't know who would win. You didn't know who you wanted to win because you felt something for Nekoma, you
Mm-hmm.
felt something for Karasuno, you felt the emotion from every player on the field. You felt their tiredness, you felt the exhaustion, you felt them pushing through everything just to be the triumphant team in this established rivalry. And at the end of it all, them coming in and like, oh my, and also added on to the fact that you still had the coaches of old, one still coaching Nakuma, and one being the grandson of the coach who used to coach Karasuno when they were such a heavy
Mm-hmm.
rivalry. It's like it was just a perfect um writing and seeing of just character development and storytelling. So, yeah,
Agreed. I couldn't have said it better
yes,
myself. That definitely was the combination of everything that we've been building up to thus far for IQ. So I give you that one. That
what you
hype.
got next? What you got?
All right, so I got a cheat
Uh,
because we should have banned this arc, but it didn't come to me until like
you
2 minutes
cheating?
ago.
What you doing?
But this is from Attack on
Oh, I
Titan,
just,
and in my
it's
opinion,
fine. It's good. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. No, I think
in my
yeah, I think it's fine.
opinion, this is
I
the
think you
best
have to
arc.
say, yeah, I think you have to include Attack
Oh,
on Titan.
Attack on Titan. Now I'm talking about the return to Shiganshina
Yes.
arc, which was basically where their plan was to take back the walls, to retake the walls, as well as to get in the basement to see what was inside the basement. And likewise with Haikyuu, like what Javon just said, I feel like everything that they've been building up towards an Attack on Titan up to that
Mm-hmm.
point was realized in this arc. Because not only did we got conflict resolutions for the main conflict that was going on, like with the shifters, the remnants of the government, and then also we got the biggest answer that we had at that time with what was in the basement,
True. True.
what was the truth behind the Titans, and then where we going to go from here. And this arc was just filled with a lot of high intensity stakes, action sequences,
Mm-hmm.
surprises, shock, things filled with shock value. Like what we learned from that basement blows my mind to this day. Like I don't know how Isayama was able to completely keep this hidden to the point whereas nobody saw this
Mm-hmm.
coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I
Right.
think that was when I fully 100% fell in love with Attack on Titan to the point where I was saying at that time that Attack on Titan was peak shonen, it was number one.
Ooh,
Like,
bring back the peak. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
yeah, so like everything about that arc was just masterful. Like I wouldn't change it in any other way. Uh as for how the series became after that, that's up for debate, but we are getting into that. But this
That's
arc
kind of
here,
why I didn't. I was like, I didn't want to take it off. I was like, you know what? I know how a lot of people feel for
you know how
that.
I
Hey,
feel.
listen, I do. You wouldn't let us forget. But I was like,
Uh,
okay, fine. But no, you're absolutely correct, and I feel like that that arc was truly the turning point for the series to new heights, to reach new heights.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was another start to the series. I feel like that was without a doubt a game changer in a sense. Because like you said,
Fact.
we had no idea that the story would become that. No. Like reading it,
Mm-hmm.
if you read it week to week or you watched it, we had no idea that this is where it would go and everything that took place with that. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that definitely deserves to be there without a doubt. Without a doubt. Um, I'm going. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it a bit. Keep it a bit mainstream now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of people may like this. No, simply because it's a popular anime, but I do feel like this, right? I feel like this is when this particular arc. I feel like this is when the series really hit its peak of the mountain peak. Like it's like this is a whoo. Like no, this is really good stuff. And that for me is the entertainment district from Demon Slayer. I
Mm.
have to include the
Okay, okay,
entertainment
okay.
district of Demon Slayer.
I would it. I would
Simply put, because
it.
this is the first time, one, well, technically the second time, right? But this is the first time we've seen our main crew face an upper demon, right? Alongside another Hashira. Because we got a taste of it prior to the arc, prior to that. But this arc had everything that you wanted in it. The character progression, it introduced story plots, answered some things, confirmed some things, brought about some other theories within it, right? With the whole
Mm-hmm.
after image and the foreshadowing of certain characters, right? And
Yeah.
my total honest opinion gave us one of the best fights in Shonen between upper rank six and Tengen, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This you can't get more dramatic of an arc. Mind you, there are great stuff that happens later in Demon Slayer, but I feel like from start to
Yeah. Agreed.
finish, this arc had everything that you would want from a battle shonen. Without a doubt, right, it
Factual.
had you guessing, it had you feeling like, oh, certain characters are gone, and it had you feeling like, oh, wait, these people can potentially die. The struggle was there. The antagonist was amazing. I, to my day, is still one of my favorite upper rank demons. Like, um, and the anime just took it to different heights, even more so. The
Yeah.
anime, like I enjoyed reading it, but the anime took it to higher heights, higher heights.
Yeah. I think that's the still to this day that's the best animated fight in the whole
Oh, what I
series.
know, what I know, what I know. Because prior
Yeah.
to this, right, a lot of people would have said Mugen Train. Because like, if you just started, like you had a lot of the Mugen Train arc. But I feel like the entertainment district is really where Slayer shows you why it was so popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Agreed. All right. So for me, I gonna take it back,
Ah, all
old
right, all
school
right, all right.
now. This arc, this isn't seen as the best arc universally for this series, but to
Mm-hmm.
me, it's my favorite because of what it meant to me to grow up alongside this character and see myself in this character and see this character become who we all knew he was destined to be. And that's the Cell Saga arc.
Ooh, that's a good
Gohan,
one.
my favorite Dragon
That's a
Ball
good
character
one. That's a
to
good
this
one.
day. When I
All right,
watched that
all
on
right.
TV for the first time, I was also 11 years old. So I was like, bro,
Yeah.
like Gohan, Gohan represented me to a T because I was very scary growing up. Like I used to cry a lot. I still was crying a lot. So I used to look at my daddy like Goku as well.
Oh flip.
So like it
Father
this
son.
arc to me is something. This to me
Right,
is
right.
something to me. This to me is something to me. But like if I taken out my personal feelings, if we look at it from a story
Mhm.
aspect, from a character aspect, this is one of the plot lines that carried over from Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z
Yes. Yeah.
because it dealt with the
Yeah.
Red Ribbon Army, Dr. Gero, and Goku was terrorizing these niggas from he was a child. And they spent 20, 30 years plotting on this
Mhm.
man, like figuring out we gonna kill this dude. And it was a whole elaborate scheme to get rid of Goku. But at the same time, we had to continue on from Frieza. We had to follow up Frieza, which is I think most people would say that the Frieza arc or Namek arc, or whatever it's called, is the best arc in Dragon Ball Z.
Uh,
Because like the Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time is like one of
no,
the
I
most
think you.
iconic moments in
I think
anime
you got it right.
history.
So, I think
Yeah,
you
so
my personal.
the this was Toriyama had to follow up with this, and I think he did a great job because, like I said, when it comes from plot narrative, it all makes sense as to why the Rebel Rami still around. It all made sense why the androids were able to do what they did as well as with Cell, and then this was like a passing of the torch between Goku and Gohan because Goku can't be there forever. Well, we know what Dragon Ball is like now, and how it's
Yeah,
literally
pretty
still the
much.
Goku
Pretty
show. But
much.
at that point in time, we were building up to that point, whereas Goku couldn't be here forever, uh, and we needed somebody else to pick up the mantle. And who else than the next generation?
Facts. Facts.
And
Facts.
they've been building up Gohan to be this monster because from like Raditz, Garlic Jr., Frieza, like we always got like that glimpse that Gohan had something inside him that was special, that was powerful, that was like he had the potential to surpass everybody, and all of that culminated in this arc. And it gave me my favorite narration in Dragon Ball Z. Well, I have two favorites, but
This man got
one of my
favorite
favorite narrations in
narrations.
Dragon Ball Z, and my favorite Kamehameha moment,
Oh yeah,
which was the father son
that was so
Kamehameha.
gratifying.
And yeah, this arc was everything to me. Like I have no complaints. Like Vegeta was great in this arc. Future Trunks was great in this arc. I thoroughly enjoyed Android 17, 18, and 16. Jiro was a hater, but it is what it is. uh, I enjoyed seeing Vegeta get his moments to
Right, right, right,
shine.
right.
I enjoyed Goku in this arc as well. Like he he did a good job being that mentor figure
Mhm.
to Gohan in this arc, as well as to like properly show that he is still him, even though he did something fucked up and gave Cell that sense of being. But but other than
Yeah,
that,
Goku's
like
a sicko. I
it
think
was all
we
around.
all recognize
Yeah,
that.
he's a sick, but all around it was a great arc. I enjoyed everything that it had to offer. But yeah, that's my number three for
I
sure.
definitely agree because not only did it play on things established in Dragon Ball, it also was the big um conclusion to a lot of what's been built up for Gohan up to that point as well, established
Mhm.
from the first the Raditz arc, and understanding that Gohan had this hidden potential inside of him that he just not tapped into yet. And so and up to this point, it's like you said, it's always been the Goku show. Goku's been the one to save us. Goku's been the one to beat whoever the main villain at the time was. So the fact that now Goku rests the fate of the Earth on Gohan Tan because he knew he had the potential to surpass him, and he seen it with his own eyes, and he knew that he just needed to tap into it. That in itself was like just that along with everything else you said just made it such a phenomenal moment. And then, like you said, the father son Kamehameha. You can never. I'll never forget. I'll never forget watching that moment with my cousins. I've never seen an anime gather dudes around anticipation and unison like Gohan versus Cell and him unleashing that father son Kamehameha finally on him with one hand. That we can't live that up.
Yeah,
Open
right. And it
hand,
was one
one
hand
hand.
moving.
Just
Oh my.
yo, memories. Oh my gosh, to watch that for the first time again. To watch that for the first time
I know,
again
right?
would be ooh amazing. All right, so similar to you, this next one that I'm gonna say means a lot to me. The series in itself means a lot to me.
Hmm.
Similar because like the time that I watched it, being young, and then watching this character grow and gain confidence in himself and become such an amazing leader and MC. It is part one of Gurren Lagann. Part one of
Mm.
Gurren Lagann. Part
Mm.
one of Gurren Lagann is for me some of the best story driven and character driven piece of work to this day. I enjoy heavily. Like I go back to seeing stuff that like just to watch the growth of Simone and seeing where he came from with leaning on his big brother and Kamino, right? To him now at a certain point having to deal with the loss of the person that not only that he looked up to, but became such a safe space for him, right?
Hmm.
In this world that they have established, and him being the quote unquote leader, de facto leader of this group that they were gathering, to now everyone looking at, okay, what do we do? How do we move on from such a heavy presence that was Kamina, one that commanded so much attention, one that could, like that really was a leader of men and women, right? Where do we now find this
Hmm.
person from? And we scrambling. Simone is the only one that can control the Gurren. He's dealing with depression and self doubt, self hate, not feeling like he is good enough, not feeling like he is grand enough at this point, right? And now everyone giving up on him and saying, okay, well, he can't do it. They him now coming on his own, reestablishing himself, building himself back up, reaching the heights that he knew Camille was, and realizing, listen, I love my brother. I am not my brother.
Hmm.
I'm Simone, the digger, and accepting himself for who he is. And then saying the infamous lines that Kamina once said throughout the series and established, and now you realize, oh my God, Simone
Just
said,
who the hell do you
"And do
think?
you think I am?" I was like, oh my boy, Reach!
Yep.
Oh my boy, Reach! And just
Yep.
watching that as a kid, right? That will make me sometimes wrestle with self doubt, depression, or like feeling like, am I good enough to do this? Imposter syndrome. Just to watch him finally come on his own and not and not push aside who he is at his core, and him
Hmm.
realizing, wait, I am who I am, and that's
Exactly.
good.
That is
And I
good.
can use that to my strength, and that's my power. That doesn't mean I'm best, and that doesn't mean I can't do it. I have to pick myself up, and I now have to be the person that, like he said, believe in the me that believes in you. And as yo, Gurren Lagann. If you've never watched Gurren Lagann, watch part one alone. Like that is you. If you don't get inspired watching Gurren Lagann, I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
I don't know what
that
to say. I don't know what to say.
girl I got is a top out of me.
It
Um,
without a doubt, without a doubt. So
and I
that
almost and I only found it by accident because I think we spoke about it on the
uh
pod already. But I saw it on Sci-Fi randomly one night.
yeah, you did mention that. You did
So
mention that.
like yeah, like that. Simon is definitely a character that I could relate to as well for the
Mhm.
same reasons that you said. And I even like for the longest, my WhatsApp background banner was this picture of Simon, adult Simon.
Oh,
CJ used to always ask me
that was
why
my
I still had
background
that as
plan.
my picture, but
Yo,
I don't
listen.
have it. I don't have it up anymore because since I changed phones,
I
so
mean, you know,
I need to fix that. But
but
yeah,
I had a background similar on my computer for a lot, like literally the longest time, like the, and I never changed it
yeah,
simply because it was too great, far too great.
Understandable. So for my second one, I was gonna do another
Your fourth one.
obvious. Yeah, that's not me. My fourth one. I was gonna do my another obvious pick, but I am going to switch it up a bit and
Mm.
keep it. I'll do a little samey arc. And
Don't you
a,
do it.
a friend of mine, he
I feel
he
like you
appreciate
may.
this a lot.
I feel like you
A
may
friend
say
of
what I
ours, I
think.
should say.
Uh-huh.
But the Golden Age of Berserk.
Oh, okay, okay. You know, before you go on, right? I was
Yeah.
saying to myself, dang, if neither of us says the golden age, he is going to be on us.
Yeah.
He is going to get, like, I immediately thought about that. I was like, dang, if anyone say golden age, I feel like a lot of people is going to get on. But all right, that's a good one. I have that actually brings. Go on, go on, go on, go on.
Yeah.
We get, we get
So I think this arc doesn't need an introduction. It's basically what puts Berserk on the map
Mm-hmm.
because we spend the story thus far following Guts and his bond/relationship with these group of mercenaries called the Band of Hawk,
Mm-hmm.
where they are led by the ever so charismatic Griffith. Now I
Ah,
know that name triggers a lot of people up for good reason.
listen, there are people listening to this shaking right now from that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Griffin.
like when we talking about most
Mm,
hated anime character,
for
this
sure,
man on this list.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
Mark is the reason why. Because the things that he does, the guts and all of his prayers, they might as well be family, bro, with Javon. These niggas was family.
They were no, that's it. Wouldn't even mind as well. They absolutely were family.
The things he do after this long journey of greatness these niggas been on,
Hmm.
just despicable. Like I cannot even fathom how one could just turn around and do that to his boys. Wait,
For
like
the
you,
greater
how do
good and
you
everything.
torment your brothers, your sister, like how do you do this to them? Wait, like the things that happen in this arc is so vile that I can't. I don't even want to think about it. I just want to remove this from my memory because how bad this was. Not bad in a bad way, bad in like
Uh,
this is messed up. So
ambition will bring it out of you. Imagine tell
yeah,
you.
I literally like
Ambition will bring it out of you, man.
in December I found this grandpa who was like reading manga for like the first time, and
Oh, oh, really?
his daughter put him
All
on to
right.
Berserk, and
I
like
like what you put them on to. No, I gotta just say, some of us anime fans are sadistic, right?
I know, right?
You would have someone fresh, a fresh new lamb, you know,
This an old
never
man,
been
bro. Like
scarred
he,
before in their life, just looking for to get into anime or manga, just
yeah,
looking for something, just to get into it.
yeah.
Here y'all come with your
It's
suggestions.
like
Oh,
read this,
go,
read
go,
this, read
go read Berserk.
And this nigga,
Go
wait,
read Berserk.
when I tell you this nigga was loving this series from chapter one, like it was
I
like he
believe it
was
though.
there with
I
them,
believe it
me.
though.
He
I
was one
believe it
of the
though.
boys.
You're one of the
I
boys.
even like Griffin so much too, but he just stuck with
Oh,
Griffin heavy.
oh
And then when he reached
man.
that part in the Golden Age. This
Yeah.
man was like, you could have see the soul leave his body. Like he was so dumbfounded and depressed. He just couldn't believe what he did read. And like
Mm-mm-mm.
when he do his video talk about it, like you could have
Yeah,
see the disappointment and disgust in everything that man was saying. Me. And I was like, "But I understand. I understand."
yeah.
And their fan though, like
Oh,
their comment said she
no.
couldn't wait for this meme, but like nobody was ready because they like it was so heartbreaking to see his reaction to this. I was like, "Damn, bro,
See, now I have to find this. I have to. I
I
just for
got
that.
you,
Just
I
for
got
that.
you."
Yeah, please
I'll send
send
it
it to me. Send it to
But
me.
I just was
I
like,
just need to
boy,
see that.
I say, damn.
I just need to see that in particular. I just need to see the moment that he realizes what happened and
He
what just
realized what
took
despair
place.
truly is.
Right, and then
That's what I was
just staring at the panel
real.
and just like I can't. No, this can't be true. This
Wait, like
is,
this arc
yeah.
is what
Griff.
set the pace for what Berserk is going to be later on. It
Facts.
set the stakes for what to expect from this series. This is a series that's been running longer than One Piece.
Facts.
That's how old it is.
No, for real, for real, for real, for
And
real.
unfortunately, the original mangaka died
Mm-hmm.
unexpectedly a few years ago.
R.I.P.
Rest in
Mayara.
peace, Miura.
Yeah.
But his best friend and the person he based Griffith on, which is so sick on so many
Which is
levels.
yeah, we
Oh,
don't talk about that enough. We don't.
yeah,
We really don't talk about that enough. He really
yeah,
based Griffith upon his best friend. So I really want
real
to know what's
talk.
going on in his
That's some
life.
next level sickness. But his best
Uh,
friend is now writing the manga to finish it for the fans. Because Miura wanted that. He told him that he wanted him to step in and take over
which is dope.
if he didn't make it. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, but
Hmm.
Berserk is one of the greatest series of all time. This arc, I have no complaints about this arc either. It's messed up, but it's messed up in a good. It took a story. It took a turn that a lot of people didn't expect from the story at that point, and
Hmm.
it made the story even better going forward. And it gave Guts the motivation and characterization that he needed to truly become one of the greatest main characters of all time.
Hmm.
So with that, like yeah, Golden Age number
Hmm.
4.
All right, all right. So similar to you with this next one, I'm taking the same route, right? I actually thought you were gonna say this.
Oh,
But actually, after you said, I'm actually that you included that though. That
mm-hmm.
was a really really good one. But with
Thank you,
this
thank
one,
you.
and I feel this arc has not been, at least it's not been appreciated how it should be from those who came into it not with an open mind of the story and an open mind of getting something different than what may have already been established. But
Okay.
and that arc is the slave slash farmland arc from Vinland Saga. Now, a lot of you
Okay.
may not have expected to hear that, right? But a lot
I
of you
didn't expect you
need.
to say that one. I thought you was going to say the prologue.
No, but no, listen, listen,
Yeah,
listen. That's a good one. Also, I did think about that. But
yeah.
here's why I say the farm arc, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny because um I just suggested Vinland Saga to someone yesterday, right? And I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the content in another group. It's kind of contentious. It's like, man, I don't think they would like season two. But I said no, I think they would appreciate season two simply because season two brings some of the best character-driven development in a story of any series, in my opinion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
With the if anyone has watched Vinland Saga up to this point, we got introduced to Thorfinn, right? Introduced to Thorfinn, Thor's Askeladd, and the whole crew. Now, as you know, Thor's father died at the hands of Askeladd, which then propelled Thorfinn on this journey of vengeance and vendetta towards Askeladd to the point that he joined his crew just so that he can have the moment where he can finally kill Askeladd with his own hands. Now, that never happens. Askeladd dies, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't at Thorfinn's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that, my friends, is the driving point to what would become some of the best character development in a series and propels for a story that I feel is very captivating. If you allow yourself to just get away from the action, like get away from this the point of like it has great action in it, right? Even
Mm-hmm.
past the prologue. But if
Yeah.
you allow yourself to take in the story that is being told and the character development that you are seeing,
Mm-hmm.
Thorfinn is one of the best written characters in my opinion because now the farm arc begins with a broken Thorfinn, and he is broken because now mind you, Thorfinn began his journey of vengeance as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you guys to picture this. He was on this guy's ship that he wanted to kill to avenge his father from since he was a child. grew up to be a teenager. That means he spent all of his life, the majority of his life, a great portion of his life, consumed by hate, vengeance, and vendetta,
Mm-hmm.
right? Never has he considered anything else. Never has he considered what is next after I've achieved my vendetta. So the fact that he not only had no idea what would be next for him, he also didn't get the satisfaction of killing the individual that he spent so much of his life pursuing. So
Mm-hmm.
that leaves him broken, desolate, and now he has to question life, question his own life, question journey, question the things that his father was trying to teach him from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
which is violence really isn't the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to pick up your sword and take a life. That's not the road to have, because that doesn't lead to anything meaningful. So we see Torfin, and because of we got introduced to such a rugged, isolated, cold-hearted, and savage Torfin,
Mm-hmm.
to now see a broken, subdued, submissive slave who is fine with that, who is content with that, because he no longer has that in his heart. He no longer desires to go down a path of vengeance and a hatred because it's brought him nothing but pain,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even
Mm-hmm.
after the thing that he wanted had happened, even though it wasn't by his hands, he felt it was an emptiness that he felt,
Mm-hmm.
right? Taking lives, he learned that taking lives in itself has so much more meaning and weight to it than he was being portrayed before. There's beauty in life. And
Yeah.
there's beauty in life. Like, listen to this. There's beauty in life. On top of the fact that they are on a farm where you harvest, you cultivate greens, like you are cultivating life on this. And not only is that happening, we're seeing Torfin's new life be cultivated, where he is now growing and putting himself out of this isolated state, out of this submissive state, out of this depressed state, and he now realizes like there's more here, and the words of his father now rings true. And this is such a pivotal. If you enjoy great characterization and great story driven dialogue, I will recommend Finland Saga to you 10 times out of 10. And for that, the Farmland Saga has to go on this list.
Oh yeah, Finland is one of my top favorite best series ever, in my opinion. Thorfinn
But I don't know.
is my favorite protagonist ever, next to Lelouch. So, like Javon said,
Lelouch?
the writing in this
Yeah.
arc
Mhm.
is masterful. The side characters like Einar,
For sure. See,
Kettle,
I didn't even talk about the side characters yet, right? See, I didn't even get to that.
oh man, and then what the gal name? Who Einar did like uh
Oh, I can't remember. I trying to remember.
I
Trying to
trying to
remember.
remember her name right now.
It's escaping me. It's escaping
It
me.
is her name. Oh my god, what is it? Arnheid. Arnheid.
There you go. There
Yeah,
you go.
like all these characters, even Kettle's sons, like
Yeah. Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
them interact with each other, seeing like, cause like this whole arc was to get Thorfinn to that point to where he becomes the true warrior that his father always spoke of, the
Right.
true warrior that Askeladd said with his dying breath for Thorfinn to finally become. And Kettle and his eldest son was like the perfect like representation of that savage Viking
Uh-huh.
lifestyle that Thorfinn was trying to shake. And then you had
Right.
like characters like Einar, who wasn't about that action no more. He wasn't about fight. He just was a peaceful man. Like he got angry. He wanted to like fight people and kill people, but he never
Many
brought
times.
himself to become violent. And Thorfinn's interactions with him and Arnheid, as well as Kettle's father, who was like just a chill dude on the farm, and like seeing Thorfinn learn and grow with these people and turn into the character that I love meant something to me. That shit meant something to me. So,
Yo,
and even Canute even had a story in this
ooh,
arc as
Canute. I
well.
see. I didn't say Canute. I didn't
Oh
mention
man,
Canute. Canute is
because
another one.
we got to
Canute.
follow
Oh,
uh,
bro.
what happened with him afterwards
Yeah.
when he became the king,
Mm.
and we had to see what he had to deal with, and then him and Thorfinn even came to a head in this arc as well. Like they met each other again after all that time,
Oh,
and that
yeah. After so
moment
many years.
was greatness. So yeah, bro, Javon, you hit the nail with this one.
Yep. Yep.
That the farmland
Watch and
saga
read
arc,
Vinland Saga. I'm telling you.
amazing, amazing.
Telling
But
you.
with that being
Telling you.
said, and I
Ah.
already mentioned the name. My
Oh, you
last
did?
series that I gonna talk about is what Attack on Titan tried to replicate in its last arc, failed miserably.
What?
And
Okay.
I talking about the Zero Requiem arc in Code Geass, which has, in my opinion, the
Ah.
greatest ending of
Okay.
all time.
Okay. You right. All right. One
Like,
of the greatest series ever. Okay.
so
All
yeah,
right. I'm
Code
feeling you.
Geass.
Feeling you. Feeling
The
you.
name speaks for itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about this kid. You might have heard of him. His name is Lelouch.
Right. You may know. May have had it a few
Maybe.
times here and there.
He is essentially a banished prince out for
Yeah.
revenge against Britannia. I ain't gonna go through the story basically, but essentially the Zero Requiem arc was the culmination of everything that happened within the series thus far. We got to basically see the final forms. I say in final forms like this is some Dragon Ball Z type shit, but
Right.
I
Like,
talking about like in terms of like characterization.
but
We
I
got
got
to
you.
see
Yeah.
the final forms of like Suzaku, Colin. Uh, on the side of Britannia, we had Charles, who was the king. We also had his eldest son Schneisel, who was like the perfect foil to Lelouch in terms of intelligence and
Woo.
military strategy. Um, and then we got a lot of awesome mech fights inside this as well. Colin and Suzaku, especially, they got
Mhm.
the final versions of their nightmares. Suzaku was
Which, in my
Colin
opinion,
was
is
the
one
Gurren.
of the best names for any mechas in
Yeah,
any series.
yeah.
It's called the
Colin's
Nightmares.
nightmare was called the Gurren, and like
Uh,
Gurren Laga.
Gurren Lagann,
And
right?
like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Suzaku's nightmare was Lancelot, I believe, because you know
Yes,
the
it was
whole knights of
Lancelot.
the
Yes,
round thing or
right to
whatever.
nothing but right.
Yeah. So this arc, like everything was coming to a head. All of the pain, the death, the battles that happened thus far, everything involving the mystery of the Gias all came to a head in this arc. There was a lot of stakes. People died, uh, and then it all culminated in it, which is in my opinion the best last two episodes to a series I ever got to witness in my 31 years of being alive. Because, like I said, Attack on Titan tried to replicate this, but they failed. But Lelouch, that nigga, the greatest anime character of all
Lelouch,
time,
listen, that's listen.
like, bro,
Lelouch,
what he did,
ah man,
like that to this day, that has blown my mind. I remember when I watched that series for the first time. I watched it in English first because it used
there
to
will
come
never be
on
another
Adult Swim.
Lelouch. Uh,
But then it was one time, I see like in 2016 maybe or 2017. I was just at home doing nothing. I just was like, you know what? Let me rewatch Code Geass, but this time I can watch it in Japanese. And that shit hit the exact same way in Japanese too. And I just
oh
was like,
yeah,
yo,
I'm sure,
this
I'm
is the
sure,
great
I'm
this is the
sure, I'm
greatest this
sure.
is the greatest series ever. I was like, this is top. This is peak. It's
this,
peak.
this is the mountain. This is the
And
mountain. This is the
I don't
mountain of it
know
all.
real. Like, I don't know anybody on this planet who does not agree that Code Geass has one of the best endings of all time.
It does.
Like if you could
It
say
does.
anything about Code Geass, but which you cannot lie to me about, is that this ending was not great.
In a land of where not every great or really good series sticks the landing. That was 100% like one of the ones that, without a shadow of a doubt, perfect, perfect,
Exactly.
perfect, perfect.
Exactly.
Cannot say anything else about that. Like
Exactly.
Code Geass, like from part one to part two,
Yeah.
masterfully done. Like Omar said, Lelouch
It's
is
peak.
100% right. Right. It's peak. It's peak.
Spielberg would say that it is peak.
It is. It is. Say what?
Spielberg would say it's peak.
Spielberg would say it's peak. That's funny as hell. But yes, it without a doubt. Um, yeah, like it did its job. It did everything you wanted from a series. And I feel, and I always say this, like, because of how it's done,
Mhm.
if you don't even like mechas, I feel like you would enjoy them. To be perfectly honest.
Right. Scorsese would even enjoy this, bro.
Yeah. It might okay, now you're just calling off the records for the sake of calling off. You just
Yeah.
doing it. You're just doing a
Yeah.
bit. You're just doing
Yeah.
a bit. But yeah, that was a really good one. That's a really good one. Absolutely, for sure, for sure, for sure. Now, and this last one I really had to think about, because it's like there's a lot of one ways that I can go with this, right? There's a lot of different ways that I can go with this.
All right. All right. All right.
And even now, I was like, which one should I say? Which route should I go with this? Because y'all gave some really, really good ones.
Yeah.
You have some really, really good ones.
Yeah.
Ah, then, but
I was gonna. I
what's up?
Before I decided on Code Geass, I was actually going to say, and I know this might be a little controversial,
Hmm.
but the last, and I say in the last whole season or series, I should say, of Pokemon was
Wait,
peak to
what?
me.
The whole what?
The whole last series of Pokemon with Ash
Uh
was
huh.
peak to me because not only
Wait, what
was
season are you talking about?
I talking about the very last season, like Galar, when he was in the Galar region and he was in the essentially the
Uh-huh.
Champions League of Pokemon.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that
okay.
that to me, that meant something to me as well,
That
because
this
that was
means
like a
something to
culmination of
me.
20 years of pain that the Pokemon writers put me through.
This boy says it really has a bit. Yeah, true. Just to see Ash finally do that.
And
Yeah.
Ash, not only did Ash win, but he won in the grandest way ever. And he had a team with sense for the first time ever. This nigga had a Lucario, a Gengar, a Dragonite. I was like, bro, this a competitive team, man. You been playing showdown? Like, what's going on? So
But I say
like
you ready for this?
like
You
you
ready
trying to
ready
win for
ready.
real? And he did it by beating champions that are goaded by like Cynthia, Steven,
Mm-hmm.
and
No,
then
you're right.
the
No, you're right. You're right. That
like
was you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
and
You're
like
right.
how that I didn't even care if I spoiled this. Like it was like
Yeah, at this point.
the last two combatants was Pikachu because you know Pikachu got to be there,
Uh-huh.
and Leon's Charizard because you know Charizard is the other poster child of Pokemon. They love their Charizard.
I mean, Forever Charizard, but go
Forever
on, go
Charizard.
on. Forever Charizard, but go on.
It was a final face off between them two, and Pikachu had a little moment where he had to catch himself, and he hallucinated seeing every single last one of Ash's Pokemon throughout that 20-year journey. And they always cheering him on.
Oh, that
It
was
was like,
beautiful
you
for
got
real.
this. And Ash was
Yeah,
like,
I
see,
can't even deny
Pikachu,
that. You're right.
everybody
You're right.
backing
I
up.
agree with you. That was
And
beautiful.
you had all the Brock, Misty, May, Dawn, everybody who Ash traveled with was watching this match, rooting for him around the world. And then Pikachu unlock Ultra Instinct. And like the animation in this pod, they go crazy, major one. They put all the budget in this pod, man. I was like, oh yeah. And I remember this day clear because I woke up in the middle of the night for this. I had a funeral in the morning to go to,
My boy,
But I say I
my,
gotta
my
watch
boy say before
my
all of that,
nigga
right?
Ash win.
Before all of that, right?
I need to know if Ash win
Let's
above
get to
everything else
let's
today.
get to some real business. Let's get to
Real.
some real business.
And when this part happened, Javon, I kid you not, I was bawling tears, me. I was crying my eyes out because I was like, finally, my childhood is officially over now. Because I see,
I
I
don't
got,
know if it's tears of joy or tears of like the sadness
it
because
was
it's like
all of it, all of it,
okay, all right,
all
all
of
right,
it. I
all
was
right,
just
fair
like,
enough.
my 20-year journey with Pokemon is finally over. And
Uh-huh.
that shit to me is something to
My boy,
me. that
my
that
boy,
did touch me in my soul, me.
my
I don't
guys that
think you'll
want to watch
understand
is finally done
how much of my life I've given to Pokemon, that anime,
and still giving.
and I still give it to them because I was like, y'all finally doing what I wanted y'all to do, and then they let Ash be the number 1 trainer in the world, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. This boy did not go through all this bullshit for nothing. Because Diamond and Pearl was still the biggest fuck you to me. Because I was like, y'all make up a character with a team full of
Oh,
legendaries to beat this
okay.
nigga, bro.
All right, right. You're
I
right.
say y'all is serious.
Nah, that was
Y'all is serious. I
they
say
did
y'all
Ash
hate
they
us.
did Ash
Y'all
dirty.
hate the fans. Y'all
They
hate
did
us.
Ash. No, they did Ash dirty. They did
I
Ash
say
really dirty.
y'all.
They did Ash really dirty.
I was really about to go my entire life telling my children that the lesson that Pokemon was teaching me was that it's okay to lose for the rest of my life.
Yo,
That's what Pokemon to teach me.
nah, nah, nah,
It
nah,
was
nah.
okay to lose for the rest of your life.
That's no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But all right. So the next one I'm going to say, coming back to the end of the discussion.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with this one only because I was very vocal before on not particularly liking this arc in the manga. The anime changed my opinion a bit, even though I kind of felt like it was. 'Cause I feel like overall I enjoy the series much more in the anime format than I do as a manga format. 'Cause I still
Mhm.
stand by what I said originally,
Okay.
right? But I have to say the Shibuya arc. I
Well,
have to say I have
I
to say
was
this.
waiting.
I was
I
have
was
to say
hoping
this.
somebody
I
mentioned that
will.
JJK.
I have to say the Shibuya arc. I
Okay,
have to put
okay.
it in there,
All
right?
right.
Reason being, reason being, this is, oof, I think this is the first time where we really establish how deep the stakes go in this series
Mhm.
and how deep the overarching antagonists of this series are willing to go for what they want and what they desire. And I think as a character as well as an MC, this arc was the most interesting Itadori was as a character as well. In my personal opinion, I feel like
Mhm.
Shibuya arc is 100%. Now, disclaimer: this is not me saying that stuff that is coming next is bad. But what I'm going to say is, I feel like just because this was also the inspiration, I feel like this was JJK's Soul Society. I feel like the Shibuya arc
That's a fair
was
statement.
JJK's Soul Society in that everything about it was perfect. Every confrontation that happened was perfect.
Fox.
We got great character development from our main character, right? We seen him push to his limits. We got amazing antagonists. And another part aspect of I liked about this is that if you had any idea or any thought that Sukuna was about to pull a nine tails, get it out your mind. Get it out your head. This man is as evil to the core as you can possibly get. It's
Yep.
not happening. So
Yep.
I love that because we took a
Yeah.
different route. Because typically, in a demon, I befriend it. We get cool. We find some common ground. Blah 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 blah. We do. We got no, not this one. No, I'm going to kill these people, and then I'm going to bring you back just so you can see what I did in your body.
Yeah.
Now
You
that
know.
that that is a wild human being. That is a
Yeah.
wild human being. But
Yeah.
no, I don't think there was an episode of Shibuya that was not entertaining or engaging in any way that left you feeling some kind of emotion, left you feeling like what the hell, where is this going? We got characters like Toji back. It's also ironic that it was one of the best
Mahito did nothing wrong.
but my hero can go to hell. I love how his end came. That is that in itself. That hey, listen, if I tell you anything, I will tell you this. Just seeing my hero's end alone was gratifying to me. That alone made the arc for me. As my hero's number one hit, listen to me and listen to me well. Listen to me well.
The
If
hating is
my
hard.
hero has any hater, I am him. If he has no haters, I have ceased to exist. Listen to me and listen to me well. So that was amazing. Like I was gonna say, no, and it's ironic and funny that one of like I feel their best art comes at the heels of him taking away Gojo from
Mhm.
the series,
Yeah.
right? And so you have no Gojo. You have nobody that's gonna come save like no, y'all gotta fend for yourselves. Everything you learn, you gotta start putting that into practice. It's real OG.
Yeah.
It's just the big boy games. Now
Yeah.
it's the fire or get burned. Literally, literally, it happened. It's the fire or get burned. But no, yeah, absolutely. The Shibuya arc has to go up there without a doubt. Without a doubt. It's definitely it's worth it. It's you if you as an anime only. I'm not anime only, but I'm just saying like as anime only or anime lover, I would always recommend JJK. I may have my indifferences about JJK, but I would always recommend JJK. I feel like, especially when you get to Shibuya arc, just a wild ride, just a wild ride. Um, yeah, so
Understandable.
that's the list. But I'm actually surprised you did not say the Holy War. As
Really?
big of a Fate fan that you are,
I mean,
I'm
Fate,
shocked.
Fate,
I'm
that
shocked.
that's a whole 25 episode. Well, not even 25. Yeah, that's a whole 25 two-season thing.
But I mean,
So
it's still an arc.
I didn't want to like because that's the whole series basically.
Mhm.
Like if he was talking serious, then yeah, I would
Okay,
say
fair,
Fate Zero. Yeah.
fair. Because a lot I left out, but I listen. I was thinking with so much. There was. I almost said Battle City. I almost took us to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
almost
say
said Battle
I
City.
thought about City as well when I was thinking Pokemon.
Um, no, for real. Battle City. There's also Builder's
um,
Kingdom to think about.
I was gonna say the Kyoto
Um,
arc and Rurouni Genshin
I
with Shishio.
I was going to,
Yeah.
but because of certain individuals, I was like, I'm gonna just leave that off. I'm gonna just not say that one.
Listen.
I'm gonna let that just be
I am a firm believer of
a.
separating the art from the
I,
artist.
I'm not saying you can't be. I'm not saying that isn't true. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's a bad art. I'm just saying I prefer just not to say it. Leave that alone. What is understood is understood.
I
But
hear you. I hear you.
no, for real, like that, I almost pissed you off and said the elf reincarnation arc, which deserves to be talked about. That is that's when Black Clover takes off. For anybody who don't know, but the elf reincarnation arc, that is a particular arc
Oh
in
yeah.
Black
Ah
Clover
yes.
that
Mid
comes
Clover.
when a Lord says this. You are such a hater, man. You were kick that hate out your heart.
I just because it's mid, that don't
Get
mean it's
your
bad.
hate out your heart. I know
That
that.
don't mean it's
I know.
bad. Black Clover isn't bad.
I know, but I gotta push my agenda. It's provocative when I battle back and forth with you. Like, but you still a hater though. That's the problem. You still a hater. You still a hater. Now, even though we took out arcs from these particular series, I could have said Water 7, I could have said um Spirit Detective arc. I
I would
could
have
have
say Chapter
said
Black from Rurouni Kenshin.
you this time went back to Rumi Kid. I'm trying to lead us away from
Sorry,
Rumi
sorry,
Kid.
sorry. Yu
This
Yu
time
Hakusho.
went
I
back
don't know
to
why. I don't know why I say Rurouni
yes,
Kenshin.
yes.
Yeah,
There you
Yu Yu
go.
Hakusho. Oh,
The Black Chapter arc is kind of controversial. I feel like that's I feel I don't feel like
for
that's
me
so that's
personally,
as universal as
I
some
wouldn't
think.
say that was controversial because
A lot of people don't like the Black Chapter.
up until um the four kings, sorry, the three kings are,
Three Kings, yeah.
they didn't, if Togashi did properly do something with Yusuke's demon
Hmm.
side, like if he had flashed that out more,
Fair
that
enough. Yeah,
would have hit harder.
you're
But
right. You're right.
it also was a huge shock because Sansui beat this nigga. Like he literally beat this nigga twice. He killed Yusuke. He did what Tagoro couldn't do. He actually killed Yusuke, and he would have did it again
You're right.
if Yusuke's demon side didn't activate. So like
Gotta love plot armor. Gotta love
yeah,
plot armor.
yeah. But yeah, Sansui is actually who Ghetto is modeled after.
I can see it. I didn't know that, but I can see it.
Like
I did. Is
they
that something he said?
he ain't outright say it, but
But we
like
could
when
kind
you
of
look
we
at
just
like
can tell.
the backstory, where they who they became and so on and so forth, that's
Mhm.
Sensui. Ghetto is Sensui.
I feel like Ghetto is a mix of
And then Sensui was
Yesui
also
and
Sensui was
Aizen.
also gay as well.
I get. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but, but hold on, is it confirmed that Ghetto is
Yeah.
gay?
Him and his companion, they was lovers.
No, I mean
Togashi
Ghetto. I
Togashi
mean
said that, yeah.
no, I mean Ghetto. Ghetto.
Oh, I Ghetto. Well, we don't know the Ghetto actually gay, but that nigga like man.
Wow.
He have a
All
hard
right.
one for Gojo.
All right. Dang. But no, I think he could be like a mix between Sisui and Isaac. Honestly, yeah, I feel like he could definitely be a mix between those two. But
Yeah, the little
yeah,
mastermind.
yeah. I'm not. We
Yeah.
none of us said anything from Full Metal Alchemist,
I
and I feel like the promise. I feel like
that last arc,
the promise.
when
Yeah,
they was fighting
the promise
father and the
day.
rest of them.
Yeah, the promise. The promise day.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was big.
um, I would have said this if the anime for some reason didn't take such. I don't know what it did, but the introduction arc for the Promised Neverland was also one, and then you have
That's true.
yeah, and a lot of people talk about Goldie Pond, but again, I haven't read it yet simply because the anime kind of soured me.
Yeah,
You know,
Goldie
season
Pond
two,
is
season
the
two
best
soured
arc
me
in Promised Neverland for
very much,
sure.
so I didn't get it, but I will definitely get it back to that and revisit this. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we could have said. There's a lot of
Yeah,
other things that we could say that we kind of left off this list.
yeah. I could have said
As
York
well.
knew from one time to
That's at New York New Heavens Arena. I was gonna listen. I was gonna say Frigate and say York New simply because that's my boy's arc.
yeah.
I am a very big Kurapika fan, so it's like that's my guy's arc. So it's like yo, and then obviously the Phantom trope
Well, yeah.
is involved in the arc.
Crollo is him. MVP. I copied my
the
Latino
the
doppelganger.
the rec the requiem has been saying all right, but that
Yeah.
was a good segment. That was a good segment. I didn't think it was going to span that long, but we really had a lot to say about that.
Yeah,
So,
man.
but saying it because I didn't really think of it too much prior to the pod today, but I was
Mm,
like saying it and then like you know what, that really was an amazing art,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, that was
Yeah.
an amazing art. Uh, but moving on. So, lastly on the docket, before we head out for the day
Yeah.
with you guys, last week we talked about the spring season and what to look forward to. Now, I think it's only right for us to do a proper wrap up of the winter season and a lot of what it's had to offer. Now, mind you, I disclaimer, I have not finished everything. I have to go actually finish a lot of stuff, right? I've started them, but I've not finished them. But I can say, just based upon my own viewpoint and from what I've seen, a lot of great things have taken off from this winter season. So, Mom, I'm just gonna let you take the reins on this one, and just like let us get into this wrap up of the winter season and everything that it brought us in, the good that came out of it. Maybe some bad, who
Mhm.
knows? Maybe some bad, but for the most part, like how great of a season the start of this year has been for anime, and I feel like it's just going to continue throughout the year.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So I did a tier list actually for
When did you do this?
I did this like weeks ago. I posted it in a particular group chat, but I forgot
Er?
to send it to the podcast group
This
chat.
this man doing hidden agendas. He on hidden missions.
Yeah. So
Okay,
if
well,
I
take it
I
away.
gotta try pull it up, but basically
Take it
I
away,
know
son.
in Esther, and for me
Oh, you did an
Esther,
actual tier list, like you did
yeah,
legit. Like, oh, wow. We should see now. You have to post it on the pod page.
yeah, we could
You
do
got
a
to post it
pod.
on the pod
We each
page,
can do one for the
so you
pod.
can
We can let April do it.
you can be judged accordingly.
Yeah, yeah. I'll send it so we can post it, and
Right,
then
right, right.
decide on whether or not it's shit or it's accurate. But
Are you
I trying to
capping?
pull it up now. Um, Actually, I know exactly how to find this,
All
but I
right,
know in
no,
S. So for me,
but
Astel was the shows that I gave either a 9.5 or a 10.
okay.
Because my anime lists don't do decimals.
So what stopped some of these from being a full 10?
I can get to that.
All right,
Hold
my bad, son. My bad. Carry on, carry on, carry on.
on. So going to start with Astel, I had solo leveling, Orb, and I think because I still looking for this list. I don't I try to search for it now.
All right.
Um,
I mean, while you do that, we can, I guess, I can just start like solo leveling off the top. Since I just ended solo
yeah.
leveling off the top. Um, Amazing season from start to finish. Solo leveling season 2 came out the gate swinging, especially after a more slower paced season 1 to start really establish Jinwoo as a character and has really established the world. Every week was something. I feel like we only had like maybe 2, 3 episodes of more slower paced things happening.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as the season got on the way, we got right into it with a lot of stuff. Um, Best automation this season, I would have to say,
By
right?
far, by
By
far,
far, right?
by
Yeah.
far.
Again, which is kind of surprising because simply because I just didn't know what to expect from this studio going forward. Not to say the
Mm-hmm.
animation has been bad, but I just wasn't expecting all of that. But yeah, we got a lot of like incredibly entertaining series.
Season, yeah.
Yeah. So from what we got, yeah, I mean, there's nothing else I can say about it. Like, I think it was like definitely for me. Mm, I
Bro,
didn't rate it yet. I didn't rate it yet.
uh you saw the
I
aura
want to
farm
say
he
it.
did in that last episode where he pull out the sword that he say he need to start using what he do the
Yeah,
little
I'm like,
twirly thing.
bro,
I was
come
like, you
on,
would have to do all
man.
that, nigga.
I'm like, why
You would
you
have to do all that.
you gotta
Stop aura farming.
you haven't aura farmed enough. Like, you don't have to do this for the last episode. You really don't. Like, this is
Exactly.
necessary. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think I give the season 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I give the season 10 out of 10.
Likewise.
I
So
give the
I
season
found
10 out
my
of 10.
tier list now.
All right, what we got?
So, like I said, in S, I had solo leveling, orb,
Right.
and re zero. And the reason why I have re zero because not only is this
All right, let me
objectively the
stop. Let me
best
stop.
season, season three is objectively the
I've
best
heard.
season,
I've heard.
but
It's been said. Okay.
everything that we have building up to in regards to Subaru's development
Mm-hmm.
as a character,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the what was going on with the sin archbishops
Mhm.
came to a head in this season. Like we got to learn and see the rest of them. We got to see what they're about, their personalities, their goals, their abilities, and then we also got to see them go up against other characters that we have already met in the series, such as Reinhard, who was one of the night dudes with the red hair. He he had some big moments in this season. Him and his grandfather and like his dad and his grandmother, like the stuff with them was chef's kiss, like amazing. Subaru was golden in the season. Like he's not a fighter. Subaru don't fight people.
That's,
He has no offensive
that's an
capabilities
understatement.
or
Okay.
defensive capabilities, but he
Uh,
have to use his mind, his tactics, and
mm,
he do some things in this season that was great. Emilia was also really good in this season as well.
I don't know who that.
But that's
Oh, that's a girl. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
remember.
overall, like this season was just everything we've been waiting for in ReZero, and it was peak. And now for A tier, these are the
I'm happy
series.
for you, Zero fans. I'm
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
genuinely
yeah.
happy for you.
We won this year. We won
Yeah.
9.0 on IMDb. But so for A tier, these are the series that I rated a 9. The first one we have is Blue Box. I haven't watched the last episode yet,
Blue Box
but
should. Okay.
but
To,
the penultimate episode was a
mm,
very big deal because one of the main plot threads of the season as a whole was
yes.
resolved,
Yes.
and it was
Yes.
heartbreaking, but
It had to happen,
it
man.
had to happen.
It had to happen.
Yeah, and they handled it well.
They
I have
did.
not
They
even
did. They
yeah.
did. Because not every um, romance series handles that plot well. So
Hmm.
they did their thing. They did their thing. Blue Box teeters between an S and an A to me because Blue Box as a romance series, it was really good. Like really,
Yeah,
really good. So,
yeah,
but I find no disagreements yet with what you're saying. I find no disagreements yet.
yeah. So going on in detail, we have B Stars, the final season, part one. B Stars is
I'll be
another
honest.
series.
I forgot Beastars season happened this year. I'll be very honest. I'll be
Yeah,
very honest. I did forget about Beastars.
damn. Well, this season, the first part of the final season was very interesting because it dealt with the fallout of what happened in the previous season, whereas Legoshi had to essentially consume flesh for the first time in order to deal with a certain mafia group filled with lions and so on and
Mm,
so forth. But we got to see him basically struggle with that urge to feed on creatures again. We got to see how that's affecting him. We got to see how that affected everybody else in the world, in the school, as well as
mm,
within the general public, because carnivores feeding on herbivores is outlawed. That's against the law. It's frowned upon greatly, and instances of this happening has caused even more diversity within the animal world because now a lot of the herbivores are like, oh, we can't coexist with the carnivores anymore. We have to have segregation now. And
good
in
old
our
segregation.
yeah, in our real life world,
Yeah, yeah,
segregation
very,
don't yeah.
very
So
subliminal
there's
stuff
a lot of
happening right now.
that going on, a lot of vigilantism going on between the one particular character who is the B star. Apparently, we got to learn more about Lego. She's family too in this season. Like we didn't know anything about his childhood, his upbringing, who he came from, and how his family relates to like the main conflict in this season is very cool to see. But basically, if you love Beastars, this season is more of the same. But we are closing the stories to these characters, and where we're going for this last part now is going to be a hell of a ride, in my opinion.
Ah,
Thirdly, my for 8 I have what is probably Javon's personal favorite from this season, Shangri La Frontier. Um, what is there that I can say that Javon hasn't already said?
should be yes, but okay. But it's
Like
it's neither here
like
nor there. It should be S, but all right.
It's awesome. Like this is a if you like video games and you like video game adaptations, this season, like what they did with what the thing called weather
Oh, I mean the game they play.
yeah no the boss they fight the wolf
Oh,
the
the wolf.
yeah the one with the wolf
Ah,
that was peak and like they doing like a whole esports thing right now and unfortunately
the
the
lag is on or
season
something like that.
ended like right when they was about to start the big esports event thing, which is such a so gay. It's so gay. But overall, like this season was just like more the same. Like it was just awesome. Was the weather Madron or whatever the samurai thing in this season too? Or that was the last season?
I trying to remember the mahjong, the
Because that
samurai,
was so yeah, because that was so
the
well.
mahjong. Was that
Whatever
one?
the samurai thing going on, where they had to fight.
I'm trying to recall, but I think it was a season. I
Yeah,
think
if
it was
that
a
was this
season.
season too, that was next level. That was generational. but but yeah, like this was doing things that SAO didn't do until
Alicization,
Alicization. Yeah.
yes. Which
So
everyone still
like
needs to watch, by the way, but still,
yeah.
nonetheless. Hmm.
So like yeah, this is Triangular Frontier, amazing anime,
And
definitely.
gotta start
Then
my collection again.
going on in ATL still, we have to finish off ATL, we have Apothecary Diaries.
A
I
lot of
have
people are gonna argue with you that should be S, but nonetheless,
see right. It could be an S, but like this is only the first half, and I know they cooking like they cooking Najivon. Like they just reveal a big twist in the last episode for this
don't
first part.
spoil me. I haven't finished. I
A
haven't
big
finished.
twist.
Okay, let's get
This
there.
a game changer. Like they've been
I
teasing
get,
this. They've been hinting to at this for a while.
so this flips the series on its head. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
So
that.
this
I
was
like that. I like that.
this is something. But like I said, to round off ATL, we have that Dragon Ball Daimon. I get to why I have Diamond in ATL. Medalist and
Okay.
season
I feel like I
three
know why though. I feel like I know
and
why.
season three of Blue Exorcist, which is in my opinion the best arc in this entire series.
You've mentioned Blue Exorcist a lot. I have not been keeping up with Blue Exorcist, but I have heard you speak about it this season and how this is the best arc of the season.
Yeah,
I
like
mean of the series so
it's a
far.
flashback arc, but like
Okay.
the things that we learn and the things that we have seen, the writing, the characters we've been introduced to, the old characters we've
Yeah.
been introduced to, and seeing them in a new light, like everything about this arc was perfect. Like I cry, I laugh, I was hyped. Like it had everything.
You've cried a lot this season, huh?
I cried what indeed. I cried Medalist too. Medalist, the last two episodes, they make me cry like hell. Oh my
I'm
god.
weak.
If you
Alright.
like ice skating, figure skating competitions, like if you like to see somebody who like they don't believe in themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they've been treated like dirt. Everybody putting them down all the time, saying they can't do something. Like My Hero Academia type vibes. Like you could love this. Medalist, that's this. Like
Uh-huh.
seeing the main character Inori achieve what she always wanted to achieve warmed my soul, not even my heart, my soul. I was crying my heart out this morning when I watched them last two episodes. Really, I
Uh-huh.
that was a lot. And then with Daima for me
Diamond.
was the perfect balance of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And what I mean by this is that the comedic elements, the world building, that traveling aspect that Goku and his gang was doing in Dragon Ball is ever so present
Mm-hmm.
in this series. Also, they were turning into kids as well. So
I will say though, Daimon was a potluck of everything that makes the series.
exactly,
100%. 100%.
exactly. And
On
then
top
you,
of the
yeah,
fan service
oh
included
yeah,
in Joe.
oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Not
oh
that
yeah.
kind
And
of
then
fan service.
them fight
Not the
scenes,
Ichi kind of fan service.
them
No.
fight them fight
Things
scenes.
fancy
Oh
wanted.
Like this season,
Yeah, they
if you
did.
if you
Yeah.
were a Dragon Ball fan, there's no way in hell you didn't enjoy Diamond.
Yeah, and it was worth it too because early on, a lot of people were saying like, okay, it was kind of slow at first, like with the fights, they wanted to fight, but when they got going, they really got going. I would not.
Yeah,
They got going. They really got going. So Diamond really
yeah,
did his thing.
yeah. So with that, that is my A tier. Now with B tier, I have I'll speed run through this. The Amagami Sisters. This is a rom com about this kid who wants to. He's an orphan. He wants to be a doctor, so he can
Uh,
never lose anybody again. And he had to transfer schools, and the only person he could stay with was these three sisters and their grandfather who owns a shrine. And basically, the story is about him and his interactions with these sisters, as well as him learning to open up to people again and
okay, I didn't see this one much. I didn't see much.
refigure what it's like to like care about somebody because he lost his mom unfortunately to like cancer and like
Oh, it's all right.
she died and
Okay,
stuff
we
like
going
that.
there.
That's
I
actually
see.
why he want to be a doctor because he want to be able to heal his
That's
loved
a
ones so nothing like that ever happen again.
that's a dark start to this, but all right.
Yeah, and like it deals with like time travel. Well, I say time travel is more so like an alternate reality, and then he's also seeing visions from the future as well. So like
Mhm.
it has some sci-fi elements to it, but it's pretty cool. I like it. I like the three girls a lot. Like they both all three sisters are great. Like they written very well, decent characterization,
Okay.
so on and so forth. Next, I have Ishura season two. This is like it's going to be a battle royale, like a fantasy battle royale, but
Wait,
it
what was that?
spent
Say the name
Ishura,
again. Isha.
Ishura, yeah.
All right.
But they spent both seasons basically introducing the characters that are going to be involved in this tournament. So we get to see like their backstory, how they take whatever conflict they dealing with in regards to like the overall world itself. And it's also a isekai. But it ain't like it's
Damn it.
it's not like
It sounds good though. I'm
yeah,
conflicted. It sounds interesting though.
yeah, it's
That's probably why I didn't notice it. Or I
yeah,
didn't see it because
it's
it's a
not
guy.
like the
That's it.
typical isekai because
Cause I was sitting there like, why have I not heard of this anime?
this
This looks
just it
good.
just so happens that some of
All
the
right.
characters are reincarnated from the earth basically or like an alternate version of our earth basically.
Oh,
Yeah. And
okay. So
they're
now you got my
interact
attention.
yeah, so they
You got my
interacting
attention.
with fantasy characters and we it the actions inside this is very good. The backstory for these characters are hype. And like some of these characters even interact with each other in this season, in the second season, and they actually like duke it out in the second season. But like it all is culminating on this tournament, and I think the tournament is going to start in season three when it comes out. So there's that. I have Honey Lemon Soda also in B-Tail. Oh, B-Tail, by the
Honey
way,
lemon
is anime I
soda.
rated 8, basically 8 out of 10.
Really good.
So
Honey
yeah,
lemon soda is
Honey
one of the really
Javon
good
has seen Honey
ramen.
Lemon Soda as well. This
Yeah,
is
really good.
probably my favorite romance of the season.
Same.
Uh, the
Same.
first episode alone was masterful in my opinion.
Mm,
That
it
got
was.
me instantly.
What could it be? Yeah, on what the series could be for sure.
Yeah,
And I
and
kind of yeah. Sorry, go on.
no, go say what you was gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say that I like instantly fell in love with a lot of the characters.
Oh yeah,
I feel like they didn't all this was well. They didn't really go the route of taking so long to establish certain things, or like to at least let it be known how a lot of characters felt in particular areas. And I felt like, yeah, this is definitely incredibly charming rom
yeah.
com that captivates you from one of the it's definitely top five openings of the season for me as well.
Oh for sure,
One of my favorite openings this year so far,
for
and
sure.
the ending. So it really the whole thing honestly captivates you and makes you want to watch the series if you're really into to romance series, in anime. So I would definitely recommend it for sure. But it was
Yeah,
really good. It was really really good season.
yeah. Very well done. And to speed run the rest of this tier, I have My Happy Marriage, Zenshu, Trillion Game, 100 girlfriends who really, really love you. Now this
I don't know
series right here,
why you watched that, but fine,
like
go
listen,
on.
listen, listen. Like
Sure,
don't
sure.
judge me here
Yeah,
for
I'm judging
trying.
you, but go on.
Oh, wait, I can tell you why. I can tell you
I'm
why.
no, yeah, okay.
I can tell you why. This
Go ahead.
series so tapped in that they is break the fourth wall every episode, bro. Like the last episode was so funny because like two of the girlfriends that appeared in the season wasn't
Uh-huh.
supposed to appear, and they actually commented on that in the episode. They was like, me and this character, we are supposed to be here. Like we had on the volume cover for this for the what was supposed to be the season.
What?
It was like, well, you gotta blame the anime director because they
What?
who were charged
All
one
right.
after the characters like
Okay.
I'm sick. I have future information I ain't supposed to know right now. And I I'm like
All right. Name aside, you may have sold me.
and
the
I was
name, the
dying of
name
laughter,
aside,
boy.
you may have sold me.
I
You
was
may have,
dying of
you,
laughter.
you
And
may
then
have piqued
they have an
my
infamous
interest.
panel in the series where the main character has like a giant wall of text. Giant walls, plural of text.
Of text?
Yeah, where he is saying what he loves of the most about his girlfriends. And they ended the season with him doing this. Like bar for bar, word for word. Like the subtitles had it all. And I was just like, I feel sorry for the English translators because they had to sit down and translate all of this.
Wow.
Like, and it's so funny,
Wow.
right? Because niggas that was complaining because they was like, oh, they
Wow.
skipped this in the season. This was supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen here, and they skip it. But no, dude, they was like, no, 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 no. Y'all getting this. But y'all getting this at the end.
Wow.
Y'all gonna read this
Wow.
shit.
All right. I think you know what? I can get down with self-aware anime. That's fine.
So
All
it
right.
was that was a perfect combination for that season for me. That was crazy because they was turning into Goku in this season, going Super
What?
Saiyan and shit.
What is
Like
this? Hold on, wait.
it was crazy. It
What
was
is this?
crazy.
Is this Gintama? What is this? What is this?
Like it feel
Gintama
like Gintama me. It did feel like
for
Gintama.
harem? For harems? Is this
But
what?
yes, this is the Harem, the Gintama of Harem.
That's funny. That's
Yeah,
hilarious. So now I have to watch. All right, cool.
yeah. But
That,
I personally, this might be controversial now. The last thing I have in detail is Sakamoto Deals. I
what? I
gave
was
Sakamoto
wondering where was Sakamoto is, huh?
I gave
I
Sakamoto an
mean,
8 out of 10.
that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. But why?
yeah.
I have to hear more.
Because for me, it wasn't as impactful as the manga was. Like in terms of like
Mm,
the choreography for the fights
yeah.
and like those like poster moments, it didn't hit as hard. But in terms of the story and the characters and everything else, it was perfect.
Hmm.
One for one. Like they didn't miss a beat, a story beat. Everything was adapted very well. The animation was good. It wasn't bad, like what a lot of people were saying it was at the start of the season. But yeah, so that's why I have Sakamoto.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because at one point I was supposed to say as well, like it's interesting how quiet it's been for Sakamoto, and I think it is because the anime didn't match the manga in terms of how the fight choreography goes. I feel like if that had happened, we'd be actually hearing Sakamoto talked about like how Soul Level has been talked about. Not to say that the
Mm,
season was bad or the TV was bad or even the animation itself was bad. It just didn't replicate what the author's original work was able to convey and do a lot of time. But yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I just wanted to hear. But
okay.
I think that's I think 8 out of 10 is actually pretty fair for Sakamoto Day season one. Hopefully,
Mm,
no season two. We get a bit more from them in terms of the animation and what they do with the fights. But no, I still stand. Really good season though.
yeah,
Strong season nonetheless. Strong season nonetheless.
yeah. Now for C tier, these are the series that I gave a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
First one is Unnamed Memory Season 2. Me and April watched this. How they ended the first season was very confusing and wild because they essentially rebooted the entire universe. So it was like the first season didn't exist anymore. So I just was like, all right, I want to see where y'all go with this. and
Mm-hmm.
it was an interesting alternate take to what happened in season one. But overall, I feel like I felt like my time was wasted a bit. But because I like those
Ah,
characters, and as far as I like the two main lead characters in the
see,
series, it
right.
made up for it for me. But not enough where I could have put it in like B tier or like A tier. So
Okay.
that's what that was for
I mean, I
me.
don't know what that one is, but I don't feel like I'll just watch it either. But
Yeah, I this
okay.
isn't. I'll recommend everything that I gave 8 and up. Those are what I'd recommend. But
Mm. So you have okay, okay.
yeah. So the next one I have is I got married to a girl in my class that I hate.
What is with the go on, continue. I won't even
So
ask. Continue.
basically, this was like a romance, a rom com where, as the title suggests, these two kids, they were the smartest people in their entire school, and their grandparents brought them together and was like, "Listen, we got to unite our two families, so you all two got to get married." They just was like, "What? I hate this gal. I don't want to marry her or whatever." But they forced them,
Uh-huh.
and so the series is about them and their like married life and living together and stuff like that, as well as trying to like navigate their school life to so make sure that nobody know that they married. So they was like keeping up appearances as if they still hate each other and so on and so
Uh-huh.
forth. But the female character, she has a best friend who eventually falls in love with the main male character,
Mm,
and
okay.
that's a dynamic in the whole situation that was actually pretty cute to see because this romance has a lot of good moments in it. It wasn't bad by any means. It's just that this ain't the type of series that would I guess like garner much of the public's view because of the type of series that it is. It isn't anything like ashy either. They have like minimal ashy moments in the series as well. So like, but it was a cool feel good type of anime. But overall, like even though you could tell that the two main characters like each other, they haven't fully gotten to that point where they're ready to admit that.
Okay.
But
Got you.
they cordial with
They
each
got
other.
that. They got that
They're
that
not mean
Kaguya
spirited toward each other.
Kaguya
They don't
syndrome
rouse
going
them.
on.
Yeah, but
Right.
not as bad. Like they get along, especially at home, and it's very cute. So like I really enjoyed that
Right.
anime. And then to wrap up,
Yeah.
C tier, I have a isekai about I can't remember the name, but it's about this businessman. He got fired from his job, and then he reincarnated in another world where he was working for the demon king, and his army.
What?
Yeah, and he basically was doing like a lot of like business public relations type thing within this world and trying to figure out how they could like deal with their army, get their army like funding, uh strengthen the army and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. And it wasn't like the standard isekai. I like isekai like this, whereas it ain't the typical power actiony type of vibe. But it's like a more slow, laid back, like businessy
Right, right,
type
right,
of
right.
thing to it or whatever.
All right.
And
All
then
right, cool.
I have the Power Rangers isekai as well in this
I
thing.
even forgot about that. I'll be honest with you. We weren't gonna get into that. We
Yeah,
weren't
we ain't
gonna
got to
get
get
into
into
that.
that.
We weren't gonna get
You
into
based
that.
on what I say, you can exactly tell like how that
Yeah,
is.
that speaks for itself. But all right, cool. I mean
And then
that
everything else is trash.
yeah, but
Um,
we'll post it. We'll
yeah,
definitely get that up for everybody else. But okay, I think that was a good wrap up.
yeah,
That was a good wrap up. We touched on a lot of the ones that we should have touched on. Got into definitely. I have to finish a lot of these. Two of them interesting that you said. I have to actually check them out because some I did not hear about this winter season. But like I was saying originally, this has been a great start to the year for anime,
yeah.
and I just think it's going to continue and only get better and
Oh,
get
for
stronger.
sure, for sure.
So definitely look out. Cause I know a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people in tears and crying because there's no more Solo, there's no more Orb, there's no more Sakamoto Days, and all that other stuff. But
Yeah,
don't worry. There's still some heat that's on the way.
yeah, bro. The
Still
bangers
some
coming.
great stuff that sounds interesting. A lot of prior anime that had season ones that were really good at coming back. We're gonna be right back here again. This is saying the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Yeah.
Anticipating the summer season that's to come. But all right. This is a good episode. I think it's been
Yeah, man.
a cool
Yeah.
episode. We touched on a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
it's a good episode.
I
We dived
agree.
into a lot into the our favorite arcs and everything, but I think it was really good. I think that was fun. That was fun to do. That was fun to do it. So, all right, let's head on here, Omar.
Yep.
Let's get it because I am hungry as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know
Same.
about you, but I'm hungry as
Same.
hell. Okay, so guys, this has been episode 52 of the Otaku podcast here with Kuma and OVO Bruce. We'll be signing out for now, but until next time, guys, y'all take care. Y'all be great.
And
God.
3, 2, 1. Poof.
Woo! Catch y'all later, guys.